Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sailing with the Jameses. This week we're headed into a lagoon that completely dries out at low tide, on the hunt for a sailor's paradise. And while there's no obvious path through the mangroves, those that are able to navigate through the thick vegetation will find their way to an inland lake that leads to an old shearing shed and a path to the old abandoned homestead on the island. Get ready for a super unique and exciting adventure. Hi, we're the James family.
Are you sick of your day-to-day life? Ever thought about doing something different?
Well, we did just that.
We bought an unfinished aluminium catamaran and we're fixing her up as we sail around the world.
Come along for the journey and click subscribe.
Daddy? Mommy? Charlie?
So we've heard that there's an inland lake that we can get to at high tide. So we're gonna go try to explore it and find it. But before we do so, we need to get our water car, our tender, ready to go.
You and me stuck on the ocean now. Nothing but waves and they're spilling in. I wanna dry up, but you just keep on going, don't you? I don't even know how we got here. All my reasoning have disappeared. I wanna bury the hatchet and find the way back to our home, our home, our home. We don't have to drift inside this dome. I will not let us fade away. It's not a price I wanna pay, and it's not too late. No, we lost our purpose, chasing all that surplus. You were all that I need. I feel that we can break free. We can still go.
All right, so we are on our way to the inland lagoon.
So we've heard that there's some boats up there that have gone up in there and set up for cyclone season. One guy is meant to have an amazing setup. Seemingly he's been there for 2 years, so we'll see how welcoming he is and if we can get close. There's also meant to be a historically listed homestead up here somewhere. So it was one of the first homesteads on the island. So it's about a 200-meter walk off the inland lake. So we'll see if we can get to the inland lake first and then try and find the homestead. What do you think, hun?
Yeah, it all sounds really interesting.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
As we enter the lagoon, it's immediately clear why this place is so special. We're always amazed by the resilience of cruisers, and this lagoon is a perfect example of that. Set up by cruisers, the entrance is marked by a buoy in the water and a white line painted on a boulder landmark. And when lined up, it leads sailors safely through the deeper part of the channel into the lagoon.
So when we were coming in here, I thought these were careening poles. And careening poles is a place where you can come on the high tide, tie your monohull up to, the tide comes out and you can work on your bottom and do a bit of anti-fouling or something like that. But now we see all the permanent ropes and everything that are here. This is someone's home. Someone must come and semi-permanently leave their boat against these poles. It would have to be a monohull because a cat wouldn't need the poles and the size of the space here. But yeah, it's a really cool little spot. And it's amazing, all homemade, all tied together.
And how clear is the water, hun?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a neat little spot. And Charlie's already spotted a few crabs, haven't you, darling? Yeah, this is awesome. Let's go and try and check out a spot. There's a couple of boats just up a bit further.
This lagoon is an awesome spot for yachties. It's a safe and calm place where yachts can anchor without worrying about rough weather. Many boats come here to park, rest on the beach, dry out, and it's even a great shelter during a cyclone. Some boats even make it their permanent home, enjoying the peaceful and protected environment. The lagoon dries out at low tide, so the right precautions are taken to keep boats steady and safe from tipping over when the tide goes out. And this is a different way of doing it. He's got wires onto the top of his mast running down, supporting him instead of the poles. Wire up there, going over to each side. We've just come to check this one out, and look how tiny the entrance is to get here. But he's also tied up with ropes and everything, and he's got one wire going from the top of the mast into the mangroves, and then a nice turning circle in here so he can turn around and head back out the way he came. Pretty gosh darn neat.
Yeah, it's awesome. Definitely beats paying marina fees.
We later found out through other cruisers that one of these boats is a ferro cement boat, which cannot get insurance to enter marinas, leaving them with few options for docking. After checking out the boats, we set off to find our way through the mangroves to reach the inland lake and find the hike to the old abandoned homestead. There aren't any clear trails through the mangroves, so it's all about trial and error as we try to figure out which path is the right one. End of the road. End of the road, Charlie? We've reached the end of the road. We've just gone through an exploration through the mangrove. There's little pass, and now we've just come to the end of the path.
Ready? You gonna duck under, Charlie girl?
Ready? Duck, 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 duck.
Goose! There's a goose!
Ah!
There's a jungle out there, you know, and baby girl, you need to see now. Get out the cage, cut off the leash, baby, let your love run wild, wild, wild. Why be in chains when you can be free, baby, let your love run wild, wild, wild. Out in the open, to the horizon, where your heart can finally breathe. Out in the open, to the horizon, baby, let your love run wild, wild, wild. You gotta get out there and explore, baby, let your love run wild, wild, wild.
That was crazy. I was sure we weren't going the right way. Wow. Shallow, we don't...
He's right there, Charlie.
Yeah.
Woo! Wait for us.
Wait for us? What are you doing? We want to come too.
I don't wanna stay here, no. Ain't gonna keep it low now. If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road. I just got an awesome vibe. Striking the winner post now. Liberty's on my mind. We've taken off, we've left the ground. You gotta understand that we get one chance.
Oh my gosh, guys. We just came into the shed. And if you look up onto the beams all the way up there, there's a possum. I think he's sleeping. What do you think of the possum? Wow, Nate, there's a possum up there. Possum.
'Cause I wanna drive through the summer night, and when we are old and gray, we'll look back at this summer night, this summer night.
And during our hike to the homestead, we were fortunate enough to come across a friendly group of locals. This island is home to a thriving population of wild goats. They are descendants of domesticated goats brought to the island by early settlers, and they're a mix of various types, including both dairy and meat. Over time, these guys have adapted to the island's environment, thriving in the wild, and have become a prominent part of the island's ecosystem. Does anyone need to use the toilet?
No, thank you. No, we're okay. It's a neat seat though.
The abandoned homestead tells a story of female strength and determination. A woman named Lizzie Leake moved to the island in 1922 with her husband, who had taken up a sheep grazing lease. After his death, Lizzie stayed and ran the farm on her own. Later remarried a fisherman named Ralph, and together they continued working on the land, with Lizzie making the homestead a warm and welcoming place. Ralph left in 1933 and Lizzie carried on managing the farm by herself. 12 years later, Lizzie sold the lease, which is now heritage listed, and passed away a few years later. But her legacy of strength and independence remains a significant part of the island's history. Wow, no!
What is it?
There's a huntsman? A nice sized huntsman? How big was that spider?
It is pretty big.
Alright guys, so we've just left the homestead. That was a really cool place, and it looks like it would have been such an awesome life to have back in the day. Really awesome scenery and stuff.
Yeah, it was neat. There was a whole heap of goats there and that, but Charlie wanted to pat them, but she's not quite the goat whisperer just yet. One thing we have found that's pretty good is Charlie, we're not carrying her everywhere anymore.
Yeah.
She's walking like a big girl, aren't you, Charlie?
Yeah, our walks at the beginning of this lifestyle were a bit shorter, and we had to know how long the walk was, how long Charlie could walk for, or who was going to carry her. And now, those of you guys with young families, stick with it. It gets better. They can do longer distances on those legs.
Yeah. Oh, it's really, really good. It's been great. We haven't had to carry her at all. It's amazing actually how fast she can walk.
Yeah. Yeah. We've just been talking about how much she's grown, and she's grown heaps.
No, we lost our purpose, chasing all that surplus. You were all that I
We need to make sure we get out of this lagoon before low tide. This whole area dries out, and it'll be a very long walk dragging the tender back.
ship around. We can turn this ship around all the way back home. Chasing all that we don't have, chasing all that we don't have.
It won't be too long now, and we can explore the lagoon at low tide.
Chasing all that we don't have, chasing all that we don't have, chasing all that we don't have. Yesterday we could be ourselves. Didn't have much fun.
So we've come for a walk to check out the lagoon at low tide. It's really amazing that we were able to take the tender in here the other day. This is all flat, and it's not even that low of a load today. And now we are checking out the boats. We're soaking in the peaceful vibes of the lagoon at low tide, admiring the beauty and creativity of the boats that call this paradise home. Some of these boats are here for a little while, but others have made the lagoon their permanent spot. All of them have found a special place in this calm, protected spot, safe from the outside world and nestled in the shelter of the waters, living in perfect harmony with the island's natural beauty. We came across some more locals along the banks at low tide. Thousands and thousands of soldier crabs, and Charlie is totally fascinated by them. These little guys are known for their unique habit of marching around in huge groups, often holding shells to protect their soft bodies. It's so cool to watch them scurrying along, all working together in their busy little world.
After going for a paddle the other day, we noticed that this stand-up paddleboard was slowly deflating. So we got some soapy water and we rubbed it over it and noticed that there was two small holes. Well, not really holes, the seam had separated and it was bubbling there. So I was gonna get some patches and put some patches on it, and a friend yesterday came over for a cuppa and he suggested that we just pour the super glue down into the seam. He said he's done it a couple of times and it works. So we put the camera gear to use here, and we've used them as clips, and we've poured some super glue down the seams on where it had come apart. We're going to inflate it today and go for a bit of a paddle, and we'll let you know how well it worked. But hopefully that worked really well. It'd be a lot easier than putting a big patch, especially on the edge.
We pumped the sumps up, the patches held beautifully, and we went for a paddle. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please consider clicking the thumbs up button and drop us a comment below to let us know what you think of this video. It really helps us out and we really appreciate it. A huge shout out to our amazing Patreons. We couldn't do this without you. If you're interested in supporting us making videos and content, I'll pop our Patreon link in the description box below. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.